Coming soon from SJS Direct, Spellbound, a darker shade of black. Some people believe that Isis is nothing more than a black female Wonder Woman, and that's not the case at all. On the surface, it would appear that Wonder Woman and Isis are very similar. However, they are two very different characters with two very distinct missions and two very distinct backgrounds. Now, on the surface, again, they both appear to be similar because power sets. Your Wonder Woman and your Isis both have superhuman strength, superhuman speed, superhuman stamina, and they both come from pantheons of gods. Your Wonder Woman comes from Greek mythology, and the Isis I created comes from Nubian and Egyptian mythology. And those mythological pantheons are core to what is different about them. Because in Wonder Woman's pantheon that she comes from, the Greek gods, she comes from a pantheon where there was this group of women called Amazons. And the Amazons' value system was a matriarchal value system. They believed that women were the equal of men, and some believed that women were better than men and superior to men. And they did not believe that they needed men in their society. Their whole society was matriarchal and matriarchal based. So the values that Princess Diana learned in that society were matriarchal. She learned to respect female authority figures, and she saw the leadership of her society as female, which translated to the culture that she learned that taught her that women were the equal of men, and in some cases, they knew better than men in some cases. In contrast, Isis comes from a patriarchal order. Even though she grew up in a home with a single mother, she was raised around the royal family, and the royal family was a patriarchal order. The king that she served, King Amet, was the leader and authority figure there, and his son Prince Amon was also a leader and an authority figure. And because she grew up in a patriarchal order, she grew up learning how to respect male leaders and male authority figures, and this was shown in the first couple of chapters in Amari's Revenge, the start of the modern Isis series. We see that the Isis character quickly submits and defers to male leadership and male authority. Moreover, she grew up learning how to serve men and how to submit to male leadership from day one. And that was even without having her father Osiris in her early life. She still learned a patriarchal order, and that was by design, because I wanted black people to understand that back in ancient kingdoms such as Nubia and Egypt, that there was a patriarchal order, and that in those orders, male authority was meant to be respected and revered. People followed and tried and submitted to male authority figures at every turn. So that is core to the Isis character's core values. Her core values come from a patriarchal foundation, and she comes from day one submitting and deferring to male authority figures. How does that relate to them being heroes in their mission? Whereas in Wonder Woman's mission, she came to man's world to show that women were equal, and that was core to William Moulton Marston's concept back in the 1940s. He wanted to create a female Superman. So he wanted a woman who was the equal of men. Whereas when I created Isis back in the 1990s, I had learned a lot about the black woman and black culture, and how there were literally no black female superheroes really out there outside of Storm and Monica Rambeau and a couple of others. But they really didn't really dig deep into what it meant to be a black woman. And that was core to the mission of Isis, was to show the role of the black woman in society. That's why I wanted to show the historical context from her coming from Nubia, Egypt's sister nation, and why that was important to the core values of black women. Because our black woman's history and her dynamics are completely different from a white woman, and her values are completely different from a white woman. So I really wanted to make that integral to the character and the character's mission. And in Isis's mission, she lives to serve men in society. She lives to better society for men, especially black men and black women. She wants to be a role model for black women as a hero. Yes, she goes out and fights the bad guys. However, she believes that her core mission is to be that helpmeet to society and that helpmeet to teaching women the culture. This is one of the reasons why the Isis character is a teacher, because she understands the role of the black woman as the teacher of culture. She understands that if the woman does not teach the right values, the race is not going to move forward. So that's why she wants to go places and teach in places like universities and colleges, and that's why she became a professor at Spelman College, because she wanted to help in the help of teaching women the culture of what it meant to be a black woman. And it was also core to why she founded the sorority, the Thetas, because she also understood the role of sorority and sisterhood in teaching a culture to women, and how that culture is passed down from generation to generation. And in sorority, the culture and core values are taught, passed down from generation to generation. However, and in addition to teaching that culture, she also likes a little action and adventure. The Isis character is a bit of a tomboy, and tomboys are very different from what a lot of people think they are. A lot of people think that the tomboy wants to be like a man. Well, that's not the case at all. From what I read about different characters like Peppermint Patty and other tomboys, your tomboy they like male things and they like hanging out with men, but the one thing that they like from being around men is that they want to earn their respect. And that's one of the things Isis wanted to earn early on with the king and the prince. She wanted to earn their respect, and she wanted to show that she could step in and help them if they needed help. And that was one of the things that she wanted to learn. She wanted to do. That's what tomboys want to do. They want to be with the guys. They want to earn the men's respect, and they want to earn the men's favor. And a lot of people would look at that and say that that woman wants to be like a man, and that's not the case at all. There's a big difference between a lesbian and a tomboy. And a lesbian is a woman who, in many cases, the butch lesbians, they want to be men overall, whereas the tomboy wants to learn from men, they want to have relationships with men, and they want to connect with men and have friendships with men. They know that a tomboy knows that they're heterosexual and they know that they like men, but the whole thing is they want to have a closer relationship with that man where they earn his respect, and they want to be a partner, in a friendship. That's what the tomboy is, and that's what Isis is. She's a tomboy. She likes guys' stuff, but she wants to earn their respect. And when it comes down to the Isis character, she is very feminine, even though she's a tomboy. She is, very much a woman. She likes being a woman, and she wants to help other women learn how to be good servants and good supports to their husband. She's, again, wants to be that teacher of culture, and she wants to teach black women, the importance of their history and their culture. And this is why she became a college professor in the 20th century, and why she is in the 21st century she was trying to return to that. However, when I look at the role of black women, the world has changed, and the Isis character, as I mentioned in the Death of a Theta story, she left in like the 1970s because her secret identity had gotten too old, and then she had to literally kill her secret identity. The Andrea Thomas Robinson character that was featured in Imitation of Life and Death of a Theta, and she had to leave the Thetas and the social circle she had built, because she was too old to lead it on, and then she had to let somebody else lead it, which was Dr. Flowers, who led it until she returned in the 21st century. And in the 21st century, her mission pretty much changed again, because the role of black women has changed. And in this role of the goddess next door, she is trying to show that she is still that friend to black women. She's still that support to black women. However, in this age, she is trying to learn more about this culture in the black community, so that she can teach lessons to people in society. And with this story, the Goddess Next Door storyline that I'm running right now, the character is reconnecting with people, reconnecting with her roots, and getting ready to lay that foundation to start teaching that next generation the core values that are, important for black women, because the role of the black woman, again, is very different than that of a white woman. When I look at the Wonder Woman character, you know, William Moulton Marston made that for white women, and he made that character very feminist. Um, and the whole concept of Wonder Woman is very feminist because your William Moulton Marston, he believed in feminism very heavily. Really he really wanted to create this character who was, again, supposed to be the equal of a man. However, when I created Isis, I wanted to create a character who liked being a woman, who valued being a woman, who saw beauty in being a woman, and saw greatness in being a woman, and someone who enjoyed being feminine. Even though she hung out with guys and hung out with the fellas, she still liked her own. She liked being a woman. She understood that she was a woman. She was beautiful, um, and she had her own beauty, and she had her own sense of presence, and that's core to the character. That she is very feminine. She values that femininity more so than your Wonder Woman. Your Wonder Woman basically is a character who is a woman who wants to, who enjoys trying to prove herself to men, whereas Isis isn't trying to prove herself to men. She just wants to make, like in stories that a lot of people think that she was trying to prove herself to John Haynes in a story like Isis Wrath of the Cyber Goddess, when that wasn't the case at all. She wanted to, as a tomboy, she wanted to earn that man's respect, and she hated losing face in front of that guy. So there was a big difference there. So she really wants to, she likes being a woman, but she wants to earn men's respect, and she wants to earn men's respect from the role of the woman. She likes being in that role of the helpmeet and the support, and she likes, and she believes that there is equality in that role of being a woman. She likes being in that part, um, rather than trying to prove herself to be the equal of a man. She sees value in being a man's partner and working alongside a man and supporting a man, and that's a big part of the core of the foundation. That, and her other part is her Christian values, because that's another part of it, because she believes in being the helpmeet and the support, and that comes from the core of Christian values, because the character is a Christian character, and that's another part of her core values, and she believes, again, in that family and that family unit. Because when I first wrote Isis back in 1999, I wanted to make a commentary about the black family and healing that black family. When she rediscovers her father Osiris and starts reestablishing a relationship with him, that was my commentary about how we have to rebuild the black family, because the black family, as I saw it from modern times, often kind of mirrored that of the ancient Egyptian legend of Isis, Osiris, and Seth. Because when you look at the Osirian legend, we see a family that was fragmented, and I look at the modern black family, I see a family that's broken and fragmented, and that has to start working together towards healing itself, and coming together, because that's what we have today. Is we have a family that unit that is broken and disconnected. We have the black female trying to go in her direction, we have the black male trying to go in his direction, and we have black children who wind up lost and directionless because neither side knows how to work together. And with the Isis character, I wanted to make a commentary on that, using the Egyptian gods, where the gods of Heliopolis, in their new home, New Heliopolis, start working towards rebuilding that family unit, where the Osiris character is working towards. He's got his sons Horus and Anubis in, and now he's trying to bring his daughter Isis in, so that they understand all of their roles together as a family and a family unit. The whole thing was that you need all the family together for the family to work. So that's how a family works, and that's what I wanted to say with the Isis character. And that's the big difference between your Isis and your Wonder Woman, is that your Wonder Woman comes from that matriarchal order, and your Isis comes from a patriarchal order. And because she comes from a patriarchal order, her mission is more about helping people in the community, and helping people from a community perspective. She's not a world saving type heroine. She's more of a help the people in the community and help them take care of their needs. And her core values are about helping women um, learn the things that they would need to move themselves ahead. She's about helping them become the helpmeets and supports to men. I'm hoping that this kind of helps people understand the mission of the ISIS character. You can pick up the ISIS series on Amazon.com in paperback and ebook form, and you can also find them on Barnes & Noble and the iTunes bookstore and Smashwords.